We all have weaknesses. Every single person in this room has areas where they fall short, where they stumble, where they fail to live up to their own expectations. But here's what separates the successful from the unsuccessful, the wealthy from the poor, the happy from the miserable. Successful people have learned to discipline themselves to eliminate their weaknesses, while unsuccessful people have learned to live with them, to make excuses for them, to justify them, and ultimately to be defeated by them. Now, I want you to understand something fundamental about human nature. We are creatures of habit. We do what we've always done because it's comfortable, because it's easy, because it requires no thought, no effort, no discipline. We wake up the same way, think the same thoughts, make the same mistakes, and wonder why our lives don't change. But here's the fascinating thing about human beings. We also have the capacity to change any habit, to develop any skill, to overcome any weakness if we're willing to pay the price of discipline. Discipline is not punishment. Let me say that again, because this is where most people get confused. Discipline is not punishment. Discipline is the bridge between thought and accomplishment. Discipline is the bridge between inspiration and achievement. Discipline is the bridge between necessity and productivity. Without discipline, we are at the mercy of our emotions, our impulses, our weaknesses. With discipline, we become the architects of our own destiny. Think about this for a moment. If every weakness you have today started as a small compromise, a little deviation from what you knew was right. Maybe it was skipping one workout, eating one extra piece of cake, avoiding one difficult conversation, procrastinating on one important task. These small compromises seemed insignificant at the time, but they compounded over time into the weaknesses that now limit your potential. The good news is that strengths are built the same way. Every strength you admire in others started as a small discipline, a little choice to do what was right instead of what was easy. The person who is in excellent physical condition didn't get that way overnight. They made thousands of small decisions to exercise instead of sitting on the couch, to eat healthy food instead of junk, to go to bed early instead of staying up late. These small disciplines compounded over time into the strength and vitality they now enjoy. So how do you begin the process of eliminating your weaknesses? First, you must be brutally honest with yourself about what those weaknesses are. This is not easy because we are masters of self-deception. We tell ourselves stories about why we haven't achieved what we want. We blame our circumstances, our upbringing, our lack of opportunity, our bad luck. But until you take full responsibility for your weaknesses, you will never have the power to eliminate them. I want you to take out a piece of paper right now, mentally if not physically, and write down your 3 biggest weaknesses. Not your circumstances, not your challenges, not your problems, but your weaknesses. The habits, behaviors, and patterns that are holding you back from achieving your full potential. Maybe it's procrastination. Maybe it's a lack of self-discipline. Maybe it's negative thinking. Maybe it's poor communication skills. Maybe it's a lack of focus. Maybe it's an inability to follow through on commitments. Once you've identified your weaknesses, you must understand that each one is costing you something. It's costing you money. It's costing you relationships. It's costing you health. It's costing you happiness. It's costing you peace of mind. Most importantly, it's costing you the life you could be living if you were operating at your full potential. Let me tell you about the cost of unaddressed weaknesses. I've seen talented people fail because they couldn't control their temper. I've seen brilliant people remain poor because they couldn't discipline themselves to save money. I've seen loving people destroy their relationships because they couldn't discipline themselves to communicate effectively. I've seen healthy people become sick because they couldn't discipline themselves to eat properly and exercise regularly. The tragedy is not that these people lack the ability to overcome their weaknesses. The tragedy is that they lack the discipline to do what was necessary to eliminate them. They knew what to do, but they didn't do what they knew. They had the knowledge, but they didn't have the discipline to apply it consistently over time. Now, here's what I want you to understand about discipline. It's not about perfection, it's about consistency. You don't have to be perfect to eliminate your weaknesses, but you do have to be consistent. Small, consistent actions taken over time will eliminate any weakness and build any strength you desire. Let me give you a practical example. Suppose one of your weaknesses is that you're always late. This weakness is costing you respect, opportunities, and relationships. How do you eliminate it? You don't eliminate it by trying to be perfect from now on. You eliminate it by disciplining yourself to be on time consistently. You set your clocks ahead, you prepare the night before, you leave earlier than you think you need to. You do this not just once or twice, but consistently until being on time becomes automatic. The same principle applies to any weakness you want to eliminate. If you want to eliminate the weakness of poor physical condition, you don't need to become a marathon runner overnight. You discipline yourself to exercise consistently, even if it's just for 10 minutes a day. If you want to eliminate the weakness of financial irresponsibility, you don't need to become wealthy overnight. You discipline yourself to save consistently, even if it's just a few dollars a week. Here's something most people don't understand about discipline. It gets easier with practice. The first time you discipline yourself to do something you don't want to do, it's difficult. The second time, it's still difficult, but a little easier. The third time, easier still. By the time you've done it consistently for a few weeks, it becomes a habit. By the time you've done it consistently for a few months, it becomes part of who you are. But here's the key. You must start before you feel ready. You must start before you feel motivated. You must start before you feel like it. Motivation comes and goes, but discipline endures. Feelings change, but habits persist. Emotions fluctuate, but consistent actions compound over time into extraordinary results. I want to talk to you about the concept of personal development through weakness elimination. Most people think personal development is about adding something to themselves, about learning new skills or gaining new knowledge. But the most powerful form of personal development is subtractive, not additive. It's about eliminating the things that are holding you back, not adding more things to your already cluttered life. Think about a sculptor creating a masterpiece. The sculptor doesn't add clay to create the sculpture. The sculptor removes everything that doesn't belong, chiseling away the excess until only the masterpiece remains. In the same way, you must chisel away your weaknesses to reveal the masterpiece that is your true potential. Every weakness you eliminate makes room for a strength to emerge. When you eliminate the weakness of procrastination, you make room for the strength of productivity. When you eliminate the weakness of negative thinking, you make room for the strength of optimism. When you eliminate the weakness of poor communication, you make room for the strength of influence and leadership. But here's what you must understand. Weaknesses don't disappear by themselves. They must be actively eliminated through conscious, deliberate, disciplined action. You can't wish them away. You can't hope them away. You can't pray them away. You must work them away through consistent, disciplined effort over time. Let me share with you the process I've used to help thousands of people eliminate their weaknesses and transform their lives. First, you must clearly identify the weakness. Be specific. Don't say, I'm not good with money. Say, I spend impulsively and don't save regularly. Don't say, I'm not in good shape. Say, I eat too much junk food and don't exercise consistently. Second, you must understand the cost of this weakness. What is it costing you in terms of money, relationships, health, happiness, and opportunity? Make this cost real and tangible. Write it down. The pain of staying the same must become greater than the pain of changing. Third, you must identify the specific disciplined actions that will eliminate this weakness. If your weakness is spending impulsively, your disciplined actions might be creating and following a budget, waiting 24 hours before making any non-essential purchase, and setting up automatic savings. If your weakness is lack of exercise, your disciplined actions might be scheduling workout times, preparing workout clothes the night before, and starting with just 15 minutes of activity per day. Fourth, you must commit to taking these disciplined actions consistently for at least 30 days. 30 days is long enough to start forming a new habit, but short enough to seem manageable. Don't commit to changing forever. Commit to changing for 30 days. Fifth, you must track your progress daily. What gets measured gets managed. Keep a simple chart or journal where you record whether you took your disciplined actions each day. This accountability to yourself is crucial for maintaining consistency. Sixth, you must celebrate small wins along the way. Every day you successfully take your disciplined actions is a victory worth celebrating. These small celebrations reinforce the new behavior and make it more likely that you'll continue. Now let me address the biggest obstacle you'll face in eliminating your weaknesses, the voice in your head that will try to talk you out of it. This voice will tell you that you don't have time, that you're too tired, that you'll start tomorrow, that you deserve a break, that it's not that important anyway. This voice is not your friend. This voice is the enemy of your potential. You must understand that this voice is not telling you the truth. It's simply the voice of your old habits trying to preserve themselves. Habits, even bad habits, have a survival instinct. They will fight to maintain their existence in your life. They will use every trick in the book to keep you from changing. The way to overcome this voice is not to argue with it or try to silence it. The way to overcome it is to act in spite of it. Take the disciplined action even when the voice is screaming at you not to. The voice will eventually quiet down when it realizes you're not listening anymore. I want to tell you about the compound effect of disciplined action. When you consistently take disciplined actions to eliminate your weaknesses, something miraculous happens. The effects begin to compound upon themselves. Not only do you eliminate the weakness, but you also develop the strength of self-discipline, which then makes it easier to eliminate other weaknesses. People who have successfully eliminated one major weakness often find that they have the confidence and skill to eliminate others. They realize that if they can overcome procrastination, they can also overcome poor eating habits. If they can overcome negative thinking, they can also overcome poor communication skills. Success breeds success, and discipline breeds more discipline. Let me share with you the story of a man who understood this principle. He was overweight, in debt, and stuck in a job he hated. He had tried many times to change his life, but had always failed. Finally, he decided to focus on just one weakness, his lack of physical fitness. He committed to walking for just 20 minutes every morning before work. That's all. Just 20 minutes of walking. But he did it consistently every single day, regardless of weather, regardless of how he felt, regardless of what else was going on in his life. After 30 days, he had developed the habit. After 60 days, he felt stronger and more energetic. After 90 days, he had lost 15 pounds and felt better than he had in years. But here's the interesting part. The discipline he developed through this one simple habit began to spill over into other areas of his life. He started eating better because he didn't want to sabotage his exercise efforts. He started going to bed earlier because he needed energy for his morning walks. He started setting goals and achieving them because he had proven to himself that he could follow through on commitments. Within 2 years, he had lost 50 pounds, paid off his debts, and started his own business. All because he disciplined himself to eliminate one weakness through one simple, consistent action. The discipline he developed in one area of his life transformed every area of his life. This is the power of disciplined action. It's not just about eliminating specific weaknesses, it's about developing the character and strength to create the life you want. Every time you discipline yourself to do something you don't want to do, you become a little bit stronger. Every time you choose the difficult right over the easy wrong, you build character. Every time you follow through on a commitment to yourself, you increase your self-respect and self-confidence. But let me warn you about something. The process of eliminating your weaknesses will not be easy. There will be days when you don't want to do what you've committed to do. There will be times when you feel like giving up. There will be moments when you question whether it's worth it. This is normal. This is part of the process. This is where most people fail. The difference between those who succeed and those who fail is not that successful people don't have these moments of doubt and difficulty. The difference is that successful people push through these moments instead of giving in to them. They understand that temporary discomfort is the price of permanent improvement. I want you to understand something about the nature of change. Change is not a straight line. It's not a steady progression from where you are to where you want to be. Change is more like a spiral staircase. You go up, but you also go around. Sometimes it feels like you're going backward, but you're actually moving forward at a different level. When you're working to eliminate a weakness, you will have setbacks. You will have days when you revert to your old behavior. This doesn't mean you failed. This means you're human. The key is to get back on track as quickly as possible. Don't let one bad day become 2 bad days. Don't let one mistake become an excuse to give up entirely. Remember, you're not trying to be perfect. You're trying to be consistent. Consistency over perfection. Progress over perfection. Better over perfect. The goal is not to never fail. The goal is to fail less often and recover more quickly when you do fail. Let me talk to you about the role of environment in eliminating weaknesses. Your environment has a tremendous impact on your behavior. If you're trying to eliminate the weakness of eating junk food, but your kitchen is full of cookies and chips, you're making it unnecessarily difficult for yourself. If you're trying to eliminate the weakness of watching too much television, but your living room is set up around the TV, you're fighting an uphill battle. Design your environment to support your goals. Remove temptations when possible. Make it easier to do the right thing and harder to do the wrong thing. If you want to read more, put books in every room and remove the TV from your bedroom. If you want to exercise more, lay out your workout clothes the night before and put your running shoes by the door. Your environment should be working for you, not against you. Most people live in environments that constantly tempt them to indulge their weaknesses. They wonder why it's so hard to change. It's hard because they're trying to fight the environment instead of engineering it to support their goals. I also want to talk to you about the importance of identity in eliminating weaknesses. You see, most people try to change their behavior without changing their identity. They say, I want to lose weight, but they still think of themselves as an overweight person. They say, I want to be more disciplined, but they still think of themselves as an undisciplined person. Here's what I've learned. Behavior that is incongruent with identity will not last. If you think of yourself as an undisciplined person, you will find ways to sabotage your disciplined actions. If you think of yourself as a failure, you will find ways to fail. If you think of yourself as someone who can't follow through, you will find excuses to quit. The key is to change your identity first, then let your behavior flow from that new identity. Instead of saying, I want to exercise more, say, I am someone who takes care of their body. Instead of saying, I want to be more disciplined, say, I am a disciplined person. Instead of saying, I want to eliminate my weaknesses, say, I am someone who continuously improves themselves. When you change your identity, you change your behavior automatically. You don't have to force yourself to act like a disciplined person if you truly believe you are a disciplined person. You don't have to struggle to eliminate weaknesses if you truly believe you are someone who doesn't tolerate weaknesses in their life. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you want to become. Every time you choose discipline over indulgence, you vote for being a disciplined person. Every time you choose growth over comfort, you vote for being someone who continuously improves. Every time you choose to eliminate a weakness instead of tolerating it, you vote for being someone who doesn't settle for mediocrity. Let me share with you the ultimate secret about eliminating weaknesses. It's not really about the specific weakness you're working on. It's about who you become in the process. The person who eliminates the weakness of procrastination doesn't just become more productive. They become someone who follows through on commitments. The person who eliminates the weakness of negative thinking doesn't just become more optimistic. They become someone who controls their thoughts and emotions. When you discipline yourself to eliminate your weaknesses, you don't just solve specific problems in your life. You develop the character, the strength, and the confidence to handle whatever challenges life throws at you. You become someone who doesn't give up when things get difficult. You become someone who does what they say they're going to do. You become someone who continuously improves themselves instead of making excuses. This is why I say that disciplining yourself to eliminate your weaknesses is one of the most important things you can do for your life. It's not just about becoming more successful, although you will become more successful. It's not just about making more money, although you will make more money. It's not just about having better relationships, although you will have better relationships. It's about becoming the person you were meant to be. You see, inside every person is a champion waiting to be released. Inside every person is greatness waiting to be expressed. Inside every person is potential waiting to be actualized. But this champion, this greatness, this potential is often buried under layers of weaknesses, bad habits, and self-limiting beliefs. When you discipline yourself to eliminate your weaknesses, you're not just changing your behavior. You're excavating your true self. You're removing the obstacles that have been preventing you from becoming who you were meant to be. You're clearing the path for your greatness to emerge. This is a lifelong journey, not a destination. You will never reach a point where you have no weaknesses to work on. As you grow and evolve, new challenges will emerge. New weaknesses will reveal themselves. New opportunities for growth will present themselves. This is not a problem. This is the beauty of being human. We are designed to grow, to evolve, to become better versions of ourselves. The key is to embrace this process. Don't see weakness elimination as a chore or a burden. See it as an opportunity to become stronger, wiser, and more capable. See it as a chance to build character and develop the discipline that will serve you in every area of your life. I want to leave you with this thought. The person you are today is the result of the choices you've made up to this point. The person you will become tomorrow depends on the choices you make from this point forward. You cannot change your past, but you can change your future. You cannot eliminate yesterday's mistakes, but you can eliminate today's weaknesses. The time is now, not tomorrow, not next week, not next month, not next year. Now, every moment you delay is a moment you could be building strength instead of tolerating weakness. Every day you postpone is a day you could be becoming better instead of staying the same. Your weaknesses are not permanent fixtures in your life. They are temporary obstacles that can be overcome through disciplined action. They are not part of your identity unless you choose to make them so. They are not your destiny unless you choose to accept them as such. You have the power to change. You have the ability to grow. You have the capacity to eliminate any weakness and develop any strength you desire. The only question is, will you use this power? Will you exercise this ability? Will you develop this capacity? The choice is yours. The power is yours. The opportunity is yours. The time is now. Discipline yourself to eliminate your weaknesses and watch as your life transforms in ways you never thought possible. The champion within you is waiting to be released. The greatness within you is waiting to be expressed. The potential within you is waiting to be actualized. Don't wait for permission. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait for motivation. Don't wait for someone else to believe in you. Believe in yourself. Trust in your ability to change. Have faith in your capacity to grow. Take action today. Take the first step. Make the first choice. Begin the journey of eliminating your weaknesses and becoming the person you were meant to be. Remember, you are not your weaknesses. You are not your past mistakes. You are not your current limitations. You are a person with unlimited potential who happens to have some weaknesses that need to be eliminated. These weaknesses do not define you. They are simply obstacles to overcome on your journey to greatness. The path is clear. The process is simple. The power is within you. All that remains is for you to take action. Discipline yourself to eliminate your weaknesses and step into the incredible life that awaits you on the other side of your limitations.